Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you.
Hard to believe, but just 10 years ago it appeared that our region's best days as a natural gas producer were long behind it. Sure, the industry was born here in the 19th century, but it had long since moved to the southwest. Then in 2004, Range Resources discovered gas in the Marcellus Shale, and the rest, as they say, is history. Well, our region has emerged as a new center of American energy and prompting the industry to take notice. It's led the American Association of Professional Landmen to bring NAPE East to Pittsburgh for the second year in a row. NAPE stands for the North American Prospect Expo. Marty Schardt is back with us. He's Executive Vice President and COO of NAPE. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here again.
Yes, welcome back to our region as well for the big expo.
We're very excited. We did very well last year. It was an exciting time and good initial beginning. We're excited to be back.
So for folks who aren't that familiar with NAPE or with what exactly it is that the landmen do, what goes on at a big conference like this?
This is a marketplace. This is an opportunity for oil and gas companies to expose to the world prospects that they're looking at, looking for partners to offset some risk. Investors come around looking for good investments. Oil and gas is still a good investment nowadays, and there's a lot of private equity money and just people looking for good opportunities. So we provide a floor for them to get together and talk and communicate and identify opportunities that both the investor and those looking for that investment can get together and work out.
So these were companies, they want to do the exploration, they might have some land they can get, but they need some additional capital or money to actually be able to go out there and drill.
Drilling is a very expensive business, whether you're buying leases, whether you're actually drilling, and it's always good to offset that risk. And but it has some very high rewards, which draws the investors in. So it is definitely an opportunity for you as a prospector, as an oil and gas company, to bring in someone to share some of the risk of all the dollars it takes to drill, complete a well, put it on production, and get to the point that it starts paying. So.
And your big show every year is what, down in Texas, right?
Down in Texas, in Houston, in February. We just completed it about a month ago.
Okay, and what are you seeing these days? A lot of talk with the low price of natural gas, especially, not so much this winter, but before.
Right.
You know, seem to be some softening of interest, a softening of activity.
I think we're seeing a little change in the dynamics of the industry, especially in prospecting. They're looking more for value over volume. With the big shale plays that extended over hundreds of miles and had thousands upon thousands of acres, and companies would go in and invest in that. Now we're seeing more looking for the value, those smaller areas that potentially have a better return on investment, and that they know are going to be successful up front. So I think you're seeing money invested in that way, where it's sort of a value over volume right now, and I think it's really starting to play. We saw a lot of value prospects in February in Houston. Saw a lot of investors, a lot of private equity money coming in and looking for those good opportunities of value.
So everybody really focusing on the ROI. In a soft pricing market, you got to get
so. As we say in the oil business, it's a sweet spot. We're looking for that sweet spot, and I think you're seeing more and more of that right now.
And the geologists can tell them that? I mean, you can do it with some.
Well, there's, every geologist has their high probability area that they like, and as a landman, when I go out buy leases, we always go for what we think is the prime location first, and then work out from there. And so it's the same principle. The geologist does have his sweet spots.
I guess so.
And that he can prove more dynamically than he can areas that may be on the fringe.
Very interesting. I wonder too about the whole shift. A lot of talk about the Utica Shale, which is also down there along with the Marcellus, that seems to be a lot more oil rich.
Right.
There's more wet gas, I guess, kind of Pittsburgh and west. Are you seeing a shift as a result of that interest in the wet gas activity?
I think the Utica is growing, definitely. The fact that liquids continue, the pricing for liquids has remained fairly constant and stable over the last several years. And where gas prices tend to fluctuate a lot more, they've been low, they've come up. we've all had a cold winter this winter, and I think that's affected gas prices. If they could stabilize and stay up at this level, you'd probably see some more gas development. But I think definitely the Utica being wetter and more liquids rich is probably drawing more attention now but the Marcellus still, I think because of the market area in the Northeast here, still continues to do a pretty good business.
Well, big advantage because it's central to so much of the market demand,
exactly.
whether it's population for heating gas or whether it's industry and manufacturing.
Exactly.
I guess that would use it as well. So the focus of NAPE East that'll be happening here here in Pittsburgh is really on the plays right here. I mean, it is
we're looking at that around the region. It's a regional type event, and we are looking Marcellus, Utica, the conventional plays that have been going on. Conventional is actually making a recovery. It's not just the shale plays anymore. Conventional across the country are making a recovery. There's some good opportunities there. We're reaching out a little bit to the Illinois and Michigan Basins and encourage them to come over. They don't really have a NAPE event, regional to them. So we're trying to encourage them to come over here as well. But this whole Utica Marcellus extends from Kentucky right on up into Canada. So there's a whole region of area here. And if we reach out to Illinois and Michigan and entice them to come over, we can continue to grow this thing.
We'll take it. We'll take the full hotel rooms and the restaurants and everything else. So when's it coming up this year?
It's coming up April 9th through 11th. So,
all right,
down
good.
At the David Lawrence.
And who'd come and attend this?
This is primarily for oil and gas companies. There's a few vendors that'll come. We have some of the local oil and gas associations from Pennsylvania and West Virginia coming. But it's primarily capital markets, oil and gas companies, and law firms that work to do a deal right on the floor.
All right, doing deals right on the floor. All right, so if you fit any of those categories, April 9th through 11th at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, NAPE East. And Marty Schardt, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And we'll be back in a minute with a little more dollars and cents. Stay with us.